So thank.
So John, how did you get involved with the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame?
Well, I was lucky. I was just a kid. And Henry Swanson, who was the county extension agent and director in Orange County, was on the Hall of Fame selection committee. And I don't know if Henry was one of the original members or not, but Henry was. And when Henry retired, he basically got out of everything. And so he resigned from the Hall of Fame board, but being Henry Swanson, he said, why don't you have this kid who's taken my place up here uh, in the extension office serve on the board? So that was in 1977, and I had been working 7 or 8 years in the extension service. But when I look at it, the Hall of Fame started in '62, so
Right.
it wasn't but 15 years old, and now we're 55 or 54 or whatever it is. So I've, I've been on this committee for longer than I really thought I had been on this committee.
Made you feel bad, huh?
So how did you get involved on the committee?
I started in 1989. I just come on board as the executive director for the Florida Citrus Showcase. And at that time, the Hall of Fame was run by the Showcase. And Jerry Chicone called me and he goes, Miss, I don't know you, but you're the new executive director there, and you guys run the Hall of Fame. And normally the Department of Citrus has been doing the presentations, but the girl's out sick, so you need to get in there and get this done for me. I said, yes, sir, Mr. Chicone, I'll be right on it, and I did. And I've loved it ever since.
Well, the Hall of Fame has had an interesting history. Tell me what you recall as far as its origins. Tell you the truth, when it was early on, and I was the young person, and I was just in awe of all these people, Buck Buckaloo and
Right.
Bill Rayleigh, and the list went on and on. Ben Hill Griffin Jr.,
Right.
Red Phillips, and so forth. And so I just kind of sat there, and they made me the historian. And my job early on was to find overlooked people and bring it to them. And then they would discuss that and everything else. But I never knew much about the early origins of the Hall of
Well,
Fame.
it started in 1962, and the first year they inducted 17 members. And at that time, it was called the Government Day Luncheon. And it was normally the governor of Florida came down, and he was the keynote speaker, and the inductions took place at Normale Hall. And that was always during Citrus Week for the Florida Citrus Festival. And went on there for quite some time. I think it moved, I want to say, in the late 70s, early 80s. Maybe it was late 80s because Nita Bryant was still at the festival, 77. So it must have been maybe late 80s. It moved over to Southwest Complex from Normale Hall. Then we moved it back a couple times. But went back and forth. At that time, they also honored the FFA winners for the festival with the citrus tree contest. But from that point, we moved in 2008 to Florida Southern College, and you were very responsible for that.
That was an interesting story, and we were surprised in what happened, and I believe that we thought as a selection committee that we were an autonomous entity, and were selecting people into the Hall of Fame. I can't remember all the details, but I remember after a meeting either in 2006 or 2007, you said you really need to be chairman of the committee. We were in limbo, and I was getting ready to retire, or had just retired from the extension service, and so I agreed to serve as chairman of the committee. And being a good extension agent, what you really do then is you send out a questionnaire to all members of the committee and say, what do you think we should be doing? Let's develop a plan, and so forth and so on. So I developed my questionnaire, and I sent the questionnaire out, and it didn't take long before I got a response back from Citrus Showcase telling me that I couldn't send out a questionnaire.
Right.
And somewhere along that line, Jerry Chicone had run across somebody who was advertising as something as the Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame fruit or something, and I don't, Jerry's have to tell us exactly how he realized that the name Florida Citrus Hall of Fame was really owned by the Florida Citrus, or by Showcase, or the Polk County Festival, or whatever their official title was.
It was owned by the Showcase. It was Florida Citrus Showcase and Polk County Fair by then, and that would have been, I want to say, in maybe the late '90s. And the name had lapsed for the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame with the corporate filings, I think. And so what happened was, I think the Showcase went in and refiled, and then refiled it as an actual entity under the Showcase, whereas before it had not been, from what Jerry had told me. And so Showcase was going through some rough times in mid-2000s, and our committee basically reformed the organization on its own 2 feet, so we could continue doing, honoring the people in the industry without being impacted by anything that might have happened through the Showcase.
Yeah, when I got the letter saying that I couldn't communicate, I was a little surprised and a little stubborn, and so as I explored the situation, and I think we came across, I found out that Showcase actually did own the name, and I thought would be a reasonable request, and made a real strong effort to convince Showcase that it would be in their interest and our interest to partner up, let us have our own board of directors, and we would be partners in this venture.
Right.
And to that end, I was able to get Florida Citrus Mutual and the Florida Department of Citrus to actually go with me to meet with the Showcase people. And basically the results were hell no. So
I remember that letter.
and after I squawked enough, then the next thing that happened was that Showcase decided that there were some of us who were no longer able to serve on the selection committee. So I was fired. I was fired. I believe you were fired.
I was fired, and I did not go down quietly.
And a couple of other were fired, but most everybody was asked to stay on the reorganized selection committee that they were going to operate.
It was all but 5 of us.
Okay, and then the reaction to everybody there was, we'll stay where we are, and so I'm not sure exactly who suggested that we might want to get involved with Florida Southern College, but it sounded like a good idea. We didn't really have a home.
Right.
There had been a display at Nora Mayo, but that went away, and as we started the process, we visited with Florida Southern College.
It was you and Jim Ellis, Frank Trevelyan, and myself, I believe.
We met with Rob Tate.
And Dr. Kerr.
And we sat down and said, here's what we'd like to do. What can you do to help us? And we moved forward. We ended up getting a signed written agreement with Florida Southern
Right,
College.
because they were in the process of building the McKay Archive Center, but it wasn't completed yet. And they wanted money to help complete that, so they said, if you come up with either $150,000 or $200,000 in an endowment, then we'll have a wall for your display and a little office for you to use so that people could research the Hall of Fame information.
Well, I looked at the original documents, though, and the first agreement, they were going to do a website.
And a website, right.
They were going to redo or look at the inductees and modify or review their bios. They were also going to, I can't remember what, the website, the bios, they were going to get some equipment, I guess, or to build the website with. But anyway, I'm not sure if the fellowships was originally in the original agreement or not.
We talked about it. I don't know if that evolved from the first thing or not, but I know we said we wanted the endowment there, and we did want students to, affiliated with it, because we needed people in place to help do that research for us. And originally we wanted them to do the presentations and everything for the Hall of Fame inductees. But that never, once we got in there and got going, there were so many things to do with the citrus archives that we thought that we would continue doing the Hall of Fame presentations ourselves and let them focus on trying to disseminate, digitize, catalog everything within the citrus archives that we could do to just let people know we had that availability there.
Well, bottom line is that we decided that we were going to form a new corporation, did a different twist on the name of the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame of Florida or something like that.
Citrus Hall of Fame of Florida.
But we didn't give up on trying to get back the original name.
Right.
So what happened when we were asked to leave Showcase, we ended up finding some money, negotiated an arrangement with them to buy the name.
We borrowed money from...
borrowed money from one of our members.
Yes.
And bought back the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame Corporation
Right.
name for $25,000. And since then, we have entered into an arrangement with Florida Southern College. We have an endowment of over $275,000 at Florida Southern.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bank account that we have to do our operating out of. It's over $100,000, and we're off and running and doing all these busy things. So I
And
think
that's in 8 years.
So here we are making videos and patting ourselves on the back. We did one hell of a job.
We had a lot of help, and you were the money man, got all the guys behind us, and so it's been a good ride.
And we have put together, and I'm biased, but probably the strongest organization of the selection committee that represent the industry, a top-notch group of people that go through and make the selections every year. So
It's really good.
That's where we are today.
Well, that plus now we're educating people about the history of the industry. We have over 1,500 citrus labels on our website, about 300 to 500 photographs, and about 150 postcards of the old industry. So, along with a number of artifacts, and we've only touched the tip of the iceberg.
More than just inducting people, and our mission has expanded to tell the story of the citrus industry, and we're looking for anybody and everybody who will help us do that. So
Right. Exactly.
contact us if you need have something you want us to explore, you have items that you want us to investigate or look or save or do whatever.
That's our app.